You don't need enemies when your own mouth is working against you. Right now, someone is using your own words to destroy you. They're sitting in a room planning your downfall with sentences you spoke months ago. That joke you made, it's evidence against you. That secret you shared, it's leverage in their hands. That moment of weakness, it's their path to victory. You think your words disappear into thin air. You believe people forget what you say. You assume your conversations are safe. This is the most dangerous delusion of modern life. Every successful person has fallen because of words they wish they could take back. Every empire has crumbled because someone said too much. Every friendship has died because trust was broken by loose tongues. The ancient masters understood something we've forgotten. Your mouth is your most dangerous enemy. It reveals your secrets, exposes your weaknesses, and hands your enemies exactly what they need to defeat you. Niccolò Machiavelli spent his life studying power. And he discovered the ultimate truth. Those who control their words control their destiny. Those who don't become victims of their own voice. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 10 psychological traps that turn your mouth into your executioner. These situations happen to everyone, but only the wise recognize them before it's too late. Drop this affirmation in the comments if you're ready to take control. I speak only to win. Number 1. The Rage Revelation. Anger is truth serum. When fury takes control, your brain shuts down its security system and your mouth becomes a confession booth. Every grievance you've silently endured, every resentment you've carefully hidden, every dark thought you've suppressed, they all come pouring out like poison. The person who triggered your anger isn't your enemy in that moment. They're your interrogator. They've just discovered the fastest way to extract your deepest truths. While you're busy feeling justified in your rage, they're busy collecting intelligence about who you really are beneath the mask. Rage makes you predictable. Once someone knows what makes you explode, they own you. They can trigger your fury whenever they need you to reveal something, make a mistake, or destroy your own credibility. Your anger becomes their remote control. The most dangerous part isn't what you say, it's who hears it. Your moment of rage becomes their permanent record of your character. Your temporary loss of control becomes their permanent evidence against you. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Command starts with commanding yourself. If you can't control your own mouth when angry, you'll never control anything else that matters. Your rage is not righteous, it's weakness wearing the mask of strength. The powerful feel anger, but never show it. They process fury privately and respond strategically. They understand that today's emotional explosion becomes tomorrow's ammunition for their enemies. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My anger serves me. Number 2. The Victory Parade. Success intoxicates worse than alcohol. When you're winning, your ego demands recognition. You want applause for your brilliance. You crave credit for your strategy. You need everyone to know how clever you've been. This need for validation destroys more winners than failure ever could. Every explanation of your success is a tutorial for your competitors. Every revelation of your strategy is a roadmap for those who want to defeat you. Every detail you share about your methods becomes a blueprint for your replacement. The hunger for recognition is a trap that catches even brilliant minds. They can't resist explaining their genius. They can't stay quiet about their victories. They transform from mysterious winners into transparent losers with every word they speak. Your competitors aren't celebrating your success. They're studying it. They're not impressed by your achievements. They're reverse engineering them. They're not your audience. They're your future opposition armed with your own intelligence. Machiavelli once said, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests." Sharing your success story feels like keeping faith with those who supported you, but it's against your interests to educate your enemies. Your loyalty should be to your future victories, not to your past supporters' curiosity. True masters celebrate internally and speak externally only when silence would create more problems than revelation. They understand that mystery maintains power while explanation destroys it. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Victory speaks silently. Number 3. The Liquid Confession. Alcohol doesn't create new thoughts. It removes the barriers that keep dangerous thoughts hidden. Every drink weakens your mental security system. Every glass lowers your defenses. Every bottle turns you into an intelligence asset for anyone smart enough to stay sober. The most valuable secrets are extracted not through torture, but through wine. People confess their affairs, reveal their strategies, admit their fears, and expose their plans when inhibitions dissolve. What takes years to learn through observation can be discovered in one drunken evening. Professional manipulators are masters of liquid interrogation. They create comfortable environments, provide endless drinks, and ask seemingly innocent questions while their targets become more and more talkative. They remember everything while you forget everything. Your drunk confessions become sober consequences. That admission about your relationship problems becomes evidence in divorce proceedings. That revelation about business struggles becomes intelligence for competitors. That moment of honesty becomes a lifetime of regret. Machiavelli once said, therefore, a prince, so long as he keeps his subjects united and loyal, ought not to mind the reproach of cruelty. Be cruel to your own impulses when alcohol flows. Your temporary desire to connect and confess will create permanent damage to your position. The momentary pleasure of sharing secrets becomes the lasting pain of being exposed. Smart people drink strategically or not at all. They understand that in a world where everyone has recording devices, every intoxicated word can become evidence. They choose clarity over connection when the stakes matter. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Clarity is my power. Number 4, the breaking point. Pressure reveals character, and most people discover they have less character than they thought. When stress mounts, deadlines approach and expectations increase. The civilized mask slips away. What emerges is often ugly, weak, and perfectly exploitable by those who understand human psychology. Stress creates desperation, and desperation creates confession. Under pressure, people admit they're unqualified, reveal they're struggling, and confess they're failing. They think they're seeking support, but they're actually providing their enemies with targeting information. The most dangerous stress confessions happen to those closest to you. You tell family about your work struggles, friends about your relationship problems, and colleagues about your inadequacies. Each confession creates a vulnerability that can be weaponized against you later. Your breaking point isn't a moment of authenticity. It's a moment of exploitation. While you're focused on relieving pressure, others are focused on applying it. Your stress becomes their opportunity to extract information, gain advantage, or position themselves for your downfall. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." When you break under pressure, you inspire neither fear nor love. You inspire contempt. People lose respect for those who can't handle stress professionally. Your moment of weakness becomes their permanent assessment of your capabilities. Pressure is not your enemy. Your response to pressure is master your response, and pressure becomes a tool for eliminating weak competitors who reveal themselves under stress. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pressure builds diamonds. Number 5, the sympathy extraction. Professional manipulators don't attack directly. They appear vulnerable. They share carefully crafted stories of struggle, reveal strategic weaknesses, and make you feel like their savior. While you're busy feeling important and needed, they're busy extracting every piece of valuable information you possess. The sympathy trap works because it reverses the power dynamic. Instead of feeling threatened, you feel protective. Instead of guarding secrets, you share them to help. Instead of maintaining distance, you create intimacy that can be exploited later. Real vulnerability is rare and messy. Performed vulnerability is polished and purposeful. Learn to distinguish between genuine need and strategic manipulation. The person who tells the perfect sub-story is often the most dangerous predator in the room. Your compassion becomes their competitive advantage. Every secret you share to help them becomes intelligence they use against you. Every weakness you reveal in solidarity becomes ammunition for future attacks. Machiavelli once said, "Men are so simple of mind and so much dominated by their immediate needs that a deceitful person will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived." Your immediate need to help and connect makes you vulnerable to deception. While you're focused on being a good person, they're focused on being a successful manipulator. Your kindness becomes their weapon. True strength helps without revealing vulnerabilities. It supports without sharing secrets. It shows compassion without showing weakness. Master this balance or become prey to those who have already mastered you. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I help without revealing. Number 6, the information exchange. Social groups operate on information currency. Every secret shared, every opinion revealed, every confidence broken has value in the social marketplace. When you participate in gossip, you're not just passing time. You're trading intelligence. And most people are terrible negotiators. The gossip economy has simple rules. Information flows upward to power and betrayal flows downward to weakness. The person who collects secrets without sharing them accumulates power. The person who shares secrets without collecting them becomes powerless. Every workplace, every friend group, every community has information brokers. They appear interested, trustworthy, and connected. But they're actually running intelligence operations where your secrets are the product and your trust is the transaction cost. The most dangerous aspect of gossip isn't what you say about others, it's what it reveals about you. Every secret you share proves you can't be trusted. Every confidence you break advertises your unreliability. Every piece of gossip you spread becomes evidence of your character. Machiavelli once said, "The way men live is so far removed from the way they ought to live that anyone who abandons what is for what should be pursues his downfall rather than his preservation." You think gossip ought to be harmless social bonding. The reality is information warfare where your secrets are traded like commodities. While you focus on what should be, others exploit what actually is. A marketplace for intelligence. Master the information economy by becoming a collector rather than a distributor. Listen to everything. Contribute nothing valuable and watch as others destroy themselves with their own loose tongues. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Secrets flow to me. Number 7. The authority trap. When power challenges you unfairly, every instinct screams for justice. You want to defend yourself, prove your worth, and demonstrate your competence. This instinct is a trap that destroys careers, relationships, and reputations. Authority doesn't want your explanations. It wants your submission. Most challenges from authority are tests disguised as conflicts. They're designed to reveal whether you can handle pressure, accept criticism, and maintain professionalism under fire. When you respond emotionally, you fail the test and confirm their assessment of your limitations. The fairness you demand doesn't exist in power structures. The respect you expect must be earned through results, not demanded through arguments. The understanding you seek will never come from challenging those who hold your future in their hands. Your defense becomes your prosecution. Every word you speak to justify yourself becomes evidence of your inability to accept responsibility. Every argument you make proves you lack the wisdom to recognize when silence serves you better than speech. Machiavelli once said, "Politics have no relation to morals." The moral outrage you feel about unfair treatment is irrelevant to your success. Power operates by different rules than justice. Your choice is simple. Adapt to these rules or become their victim. Smart people respond to authority challenges with strategic compliance followed by exceptional performance. They prove their worth through results, not through rhetoric. They understand that today's unfair criticism can become tomorrow's opportunity if handled correctly. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Results prove everything. Number 8. The revenge revelation. When relationships end in betrayal, you possess nuclear intelligence, their secrets, fears, failures, and weaknesses. The temptation to weaponize this information feels like justice. But revenge through revelation is a suicide strategy that destroys you more than your target. Every relationship is a mutual intelligence exchange. You know their vulnerabilities and they know yours. When you start revealing their secrets, you're not just attacking them. You're advertising yourself as someone who weaponizes private information. Future partners, employers, and allies are always watching how you handle relationship endings. They're evaluating whether you can be trusted with sensitive information. Your revenge becomes their warning about your character. The most devastating aspect of revenge revelation isn't the immediate damage to your target. It's the long-term destruction of your reputation. Everyone learns that you're willing to betray confidences when hurt. Your credibility becomes worthless. Machiavelli once said, "Severities should be dealt out all at once so that their suddenness may give less offense. Benefits ought to be handed out drop by drop so that they may be relished the more. If you must seek revenge, do it through actions that can't be traced back to revealed confidences. Maintain your reputation for discretion while finding other ways to settle scores. Your silence preserves your power for future battles. Professional power players handle betrayal with strategic silence. They preserve secrets as future leverage rather than spending them for immediate satisfaction. They understand that maintained secrets are more powerful than revealed ones. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is my revenge. Number 9. The competence theater. When you feel inadequate or uncertain, Your mouth tries to compensate by performing confidence, expertise, and importance. This overcompensation is psychological theater that fools no one and exposes everything. Your need to prove yourself becomes proof of your inadequacy. Insecurity creates verbal desperation. You name drop to seem connected, over-explain to seem knowledgeable, and interrupt to seem important. Each behavior screams the opposite of what you intend. Your performance becomes everyone else's entertainment. True competence doesn't require advertisement. Real expertise doesn't need explanation. Genuine confidence doesn't seek validation. When you constantly perform these qualities through words, you prove you don't possess them through substance. The most dangerous part of competence theater is that it makes you predictable. People learn exactly which buttons trigger your need to prove yourself. They discover how to manipulate you into revealing information, making poor decisions, or acting against your interests. Machiavelli once said, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." The danger of appearing incompetent feels overwhelming when you're insecure. But the greater danger is proving your incompetence through desperate overcompensation. Your fear of seeming weak makes you actually weak. Master performers let their work create their reputation rather than trying to create it through constant self-promotion. They're comfortable with others not immediately recognizing their value because they're confident in their ability to demonstrate it when it matters. Number 10. The promise prison. When facing pressure, demands, or expectations you can't currently meet, your mouth starts writing checks your reality can't cash. Promises feel like solutions because they solve immediate problems without requiring immediate capability. But every promise creates a debt that compounds with interest. Promise-making is the language of the desperate. It's what people do when they lack present solutions to current problems. Instead of dealing with reality, they create fantasy futures that never materialize. Instead of building actual value, they build false expectations. The psychology of promises is seductive because they cost nothing upfront. You can promise to change, improve, deliver, or perform without any immediate investment. The payment comes later when credibility is destroyed and trust is broken. Every unfulfilled promise becomes evidence against your reliability. Every broken commitment proves your word is worthless. Every failed guarantee demonstrates that you prioritize temporary relief over permanent reputation. Machiavelli once said, "He who builds on the people builds on the mud." Promises are built on hope, which is as unstable as mud. People want to believe your commitments because it solves their problems too. But when promises fail, both builder and foundation collapse together. Strategic operators make fewer promises and exceed expectations rather than making grand commitments they can't keep. They underpromise and overdeliver, building reputations for reliability rather than rhetoric. Your mouth has been betraying you your entire life, and you probably didn't even know it. Every conversation is a potential minefield where one wrong word can destroy years of careful positioning. Every social interaction is a chess game where your words are either strategic moves or fatal blunders. The 10 situations we've explored aren't rare events. They're daily occurrences happening to everyone around you right now. The difference between victims and victors isn't intelligence or opportunity. It's understanding that words have consequences and silence has power. Machiavelli understood what most people never learn. The game of life is won not by those who speak their minds, but by those who control their minds before they speak. Every word you utter either strengthens your position or weakens it. Every silence either protects you or costs you an opportunity. In a world where everything is recorded, remembered, and potentially weaponized against you, your verbal discipline becomes your most valuable skill. Your ability to speak strategically rather than emotionally determines whether you'll control your destiny or become a victim of your own voice. The most successful people throughout history weren't the most talkative. They were the most strategic. They spoke when their words could build and stayed silent when their words could destroy. They understood that in the ultimate game of power and influence, your mouth can be your greatest asset or your most dangerous liability. The choice is yours. Will you continue letting your mouth sabotage your success? Or will you master the ancient art of strategic communication? Will you keep feeding your enemy's intelligence through careless conversation? Or will you join the ranks of those who understand that true power whispers while weakness shouts? Your words will either build your empire or become the tools others use to destroy it. The decision you make right now will determine which path your life follows. Remember, in a world full of people who can't control their tongues, the person who masters their mouth masters their destiny. If this revelation opened your eyes to how your own words have been used against you, Subscribe now for more insights into the dark psychology of power and manipulation. Your future self will thank you for learning these lessons before it's too late.